Welcome to episode 1 of For the Loyal Philly. We talking about the Eagles specifically today because it's a lot going on with our organization that kind of pisses me off. So the reason I started this channel is what I want to start with. I just see a lot of things happening in Philly sports that I kind of been right about. I'm like sick of being right about stuff and not getting no credit for it. So I decided I want to start putting this shit on YouTube. First thing I want to say is bear with me. Obviously, this is my first time recording anything for YouTube in general. So, it's going to take a little bit before I get used to this. But luckily, I got my homie Brandon here with some experience helping me edit and everything. So the first thing that I want to talk about is being right about Carson Wentz and Nick Foles when we had the crossroads, when we had to choose who we were going to keep. Now, obviously, the team was going to choose Carson Wentz. They're after he was coming off an outstanding season that some people thought he should have been an MVP for. But after winning the Super Bowl, it was my opinion that we should have kept Nick Foles and, shopped around Carson Wentz. The reason being for that was because of the league's perception of Wentz was at an all-time high. People were saying, oh, he might be the next Aaron Rodgers. The Eagles, got the coach, the quarterback, right? They could be the next dynasty in the NFC, all these things. So obviously the value was there, but that also means it's hard for the Eagles to want to move off from this guy. But the thing about Foles is every time he's been in Philadelphia, he's worked. And before Chip Kelly ruined his career by sending him to the Jeff Fisher Rams, he was a pretty freaking good quarterback. Like he was, he had his injury problems or whatever, but in my personal opinion, I thought he was the future in Philly. And I actually think a lot of people thought that for a while until, we traded him. Dude threw 7 touchdowns, in 2013 against the Raiders in 3 quarters. I think it was like the end of the 3rd quarter where he threw his last one. I think Chip Kelly took him out. That's besides the point. But one thing I was right about was Nick Foles winning us the Super Bowl. I called it back then when that game happened. I was like, this guy is going to win Philly a Super Bowl. Now, obviously, I didn't predict what happened. Like once Chip Kelly traded him, I thought that I was wrong about that. But I remember once, Carson Wentz went down and we were going to the playoffs, everybody was calling us to lose. Even, a lot of fans, thought our season was over. And I'm the only one, the biggest Foles fan you'll ever meet. No, I think we'll be all right. Foles is nice. So anyway, to stay on the point, at the crossroads when we had to choose between the two of them, the damage control if Carson Wentz didn't turn out versus if Foles didn't turn out in Philly was a lot more manageable if Foles didn't turn out and we got something for Carson Wentz. What I mean by that is we could have probably got really high draft picks for Carson Wentz, if not a first rounder, maybe even some players, and then be in position to get Trevor Lawrence when he was coming out of the draft if Foles didn't turn out. So fast forward, here we are. Some people still think that Carson Wentz is still the guy. He might get better. Fine. That's fine. Because I'm also not off the Wentz train yet. I just think that I was right about if we were in the situation that we are now and we had to get rid of Foles or we didn't. That's another thing. We wouldn't even have had to pay Foles as much as we paid Carson Wentz to be the franchise guy. And Foles was very coachable and had a good relationship with Doug Peterson. We would have Doug Peterson and maybe Foles sitting on the bench or, maybe just being looked to move or to move him, looking towards the future of a Trevor Lawrence potentially with what we wouldn't have been able to get for Carson Wentz, and we could have made some moves. We'd have just had a lot more assets to control the failure of Nick Foles versus now the situation we're in to where if Carson Wentz continues to play at this level, now we got a new head coach. And in my personal opinion, right now, it looks like we're about to probably be bad for at least the next 5 years. That was my only argument, really for Foles. I believe that Foles could have worked in Philly. And then if he didn't, the damage control was, a lot easier to handle because now we have nothing for Foles, even though obviously he didn't turn out in other cities. We have nothing for Foles, a quarterback that we're grossly overpaying, who has a reputation of being a locker room cancer kind of right now. And, now we don't even have our Super Bowl winning coach. So to move on from that point, let's talk about Doug's firing and Carson Wentz's relationship. I think that Jeffrey Lurie is the worst owner in the NFL right now. I'm pissed off about him firing Doug Peterson. I don't understand how a franchise can go 52 years without a Super Bowl and fire a coach that won it for us in 2 years? I think it was the second year. We go 52 years without a Super Bowl, fire a coach that won it for us. And the quarterback that we chose over him wasn't even playing in the game. Like, I don't get it. Like, now I do understand the money invested in Carson and all these other things, but I feel like coaches are very hard to get right too. They're just as hard to get right as quarterbacks. And then there's so many things that comes, that factors in whether or not a coach turns out. Same thing with a quarterback. Like, the stars kind of got to align for you in football. But the fact of the matter is, Doug Peterson coached in Super Bowl 52. Carson Wentz didn't play. In my opinion, Doug Peterson should have had a pass for a decade for bringing, Philly his first Super Bowl. That's just my personal opinion. I do not understand the fire. I thought the firing was dumb. I think it's dumb because, let's say Carson Wentz gets injured early next season, or he has just as bad as the season as he had this year. Then what? And you got a rookie head coach now that he kind of came out of the woodworks. I don't know. I think it was a bad decision. I'm like pissed off about it. I think Jeffrey Lurie is a terrible owner. Also, Howie Roseman should have been on a hot seat. I've been defending Howie for the longest amount of time. I thought his Chip Kelly damage control was phenomenal. I don't know. I can't even remember the deals he made that offload Sam Bradford onto the Vikings for a first round pick and like all these things, which obviously ended up working out in our favor. And in my personal opinion, that like his damage control of what Chip Kelly did to our team was the main reason we were ever even positioned to win the Super Bowl in 2017. So I was a major defender of Howie for the longest, but after this past draft, I'm like, what is this guy doing? You got Justin Jefferson still on the board when we need a receiver, and we take Jalen Reagor, a guy who probably would have been there potentially in the, late second round, maybe even the third round. Dude's Deshaun Jackson-esque, but I don't know. You can't bank on the next guy being Deshaun Jackson. I don't know. He's undersized. He's a fast guy, but Justin Jefferson finished, I think, in top 5 in receiving yards this year as a rookie. So, that was a bad decision. Quarterback controversy obviously happened, which people kind of predicted when we drafted a quarterback in the second round. So, I do think that Howie should be on a hot seat. Should have probably, if you're going to fire Doug, you got to fire Howie, in my opinion. But, that's neither here nor there. The next thing is Deuce Staley. Apparently, while we were setting up to record for this video, Deuce Staley doesn't want to be in Philadelphia anymore. He got passed up for a head coaching job again, which I don't blame him. But me personally, if I was him, I wouldn't want to inherit this dumpster fire right now. It's like he's a player's coach. All the players wanted him to play, but it's like you're getting a quarterback. You're going to inherit a quarterback that I'm not in the Eagles locker room, obviously. But like, basic pattern recognition is kind of where we're going off of here. Alshon Jeffrey apparently reportedly didn't get along with him too well. The offense looks completely different when a new quarterback touches the field. This is the second time this has happened. It's obviously first with Nick Foles and now with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts gets in the game and all of a sudden it seems like receivers can find some, openings all of a sudden. It seems like the blockers are blocking a little bit better. Like, I think Jason Kelce was like defending Carson Wentz and saying that, it's all of them, not just Carson. He's the scapegoat. And it's like, okay, well, why is the offensive line seem like they're playing a little bit better with Jalen taking the snaps? Obviously, Jalen was better at scrambling than Carson and had to do a lot of that too. I'm not saying that this is 100% on Carson. I'm just saying that a lot of things aren't adding up. So, for Deuce, understand wanting out, but it's like, bro, if you would have inherited this team, your coaching career would have been probably very short because I can't see us being good for the next who knows how long. Unless Carson is like, proves the ownership right and the front office right and just has an Aaron Rodgers echelon season next year, despite, the obstacles that he has to overcome. Unless that happens, I just don't see us being good for a long time. And it's even worse, if Carson Wentz continues to tank his value after this performance last year. Obviously, again, we were banged up. I don't think it's all on Carson. I even agree with a lot of people, which I think he should have had another year. But because of their relationship, Doug's and Carson's, if I had to choose between the two of them, I'm not choosing Carson. That's just me. I'm choosing the Super Bowl winning coach. Carson didn't play in the Super Bowl. We had quarterbacks that get us to the Super Bowl and puke on the sidelines in the past. It's a different, there's like a different it factor, in my personal opinion, once the playoff starts. There's regular season. There's 2 football games in every game. There's the first half and the second half. And then there's 2 seasons every year. There's the regular season and the playoffs. You know, like you got the wild card teams like the Giants upsetting like Super Bowl favorites, the Patriots with Randy Moss and, you know, Tom Brady in the playoffs. Nobody predicted that. Even us, when we won our Super Bowl in 2017, we started wearing the underdog mask because everybody thought we were going to lose, and because of all of our injuries. So I don't know. Basically, I just don't like the where the Eagles are right now, and unfortunately, I think we're going into a dark age of Eagles football again. I think it's gonna be a few years before we get our footing. I think Howie's probably going to be gone before that happens. This guy probably won't even be our new head coach. What's his name? Nick something or other. Yeah, Nick Sirianni or something. He probably won't even be. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy or nothing like that. It's just observations that I've made. So anyway, the point of this channel, I want y'all to hold me accountable. Get in the comments and, you know, tell me how stupid I am, how wrong I am about the stuff that I'm saying here. And do me a favor and like and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep arguing with me in the comments, and maybe, you know, we can even argue in person. But this channel is for people like me, because I'm all Philly everything. I don't know about you, but, you know, tune in for the next episode.